guys and girls, welcome back to my channel. I do hope you're doing well. Guys, as you can see, we've got a sit down comfy cozy video because the days are getting colder. The mornings are blitz. Absolutely blitz, and the evenings ain't far off that either, but we have started putting the heating on, the electric blankets are on, like we are, as you can see, candles are always here. I am having a little bit of cider, Scrumpy Jack Cornish cider, because don't mind if I do. One of Dada's friends bought it back from me when he went Cornwall, and I was like, you know what, I fancy a bit of that today. Because we have the trusted iPad, I need to try and get like a festive iPad thing for this because it's kind of ruining my vibes. But today is Sit Down with Shan, guys, and as you could tell by the title, we're talking about starting over again, a fresh start, new relationships, new beginnings, tips, tricks, stories, worries and woes of all things about starting anew. Is it better to start off fresh? Is it better to stay where it's been? This has had a lot of responses, so guys, it's going to be a long one, okay? An absolute long one, so make sure you're comfy, grab your drink, whether it be alcoholic, non-alcoholic, hot and cold, or even some snacks, and let's get in with our monthly Sit Down with Shan. Right, so normally with these videos we swap and change positions, but I've actually found a comfy position. I think the only thing I might have to do is prop an odd cushion behind me back every now and again. But as I say, I have, if you follow me on Instagram, I normally have a lifestyle and a food Instagram, but I'm slowly transitioning for the new year, guys. I'm just going to have one big main account which will have the food, the lifestyle, everything like that combined on one, because I was struggling to try and find time to run the YouTube channel, my Instagram, two personal Instagrams, the TikTok, the Twitter. Like, it was just too much. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to condense it to one. If you haven't followed me over there yet, I will put it in the bio of my Instagram, or also if you click in the link tree you will see all of the new bits and bobs. And as I say, yeah, that will be a place where it's food, travels, lifestyle, hauls, YouTube, everything and anything. Just a lot more easier than having to manage quite a lot of social media accounts. But what I will still be doing on that new account, and also with my email, so sometimes you guys don't like to leave comments because they're public or message me on here, I do have a separate email account that is always down in the descriptions box. I will always, if you send me an email on that, you will get a response. It might take a while, I'm not going to lie, I've seen it building up, and I think after this video it needs to be an admin day. Once we go through, and if you send me an initial message, I always just ask like your name, and sometimes I like to see a photo. You don't have to send it, but I like to put a face to the name, and a lot of you guys, you send your photos, and we're a cute little bunch, aren't we? So what I will do every month is, whether it be Sit Down with Shan, Scandals with Shan, Mukbang, anything like that, I send a giant email out. I blind copy you all in so you're not getting every notification. And that's why, if you guys to get involved, or likewise if you're on Instagram, as I say, head over to the new account. I'll pop it on my story. You guys DM me because the boxes are too tiny on there. Or you can just fill in and I screenshot away. And as you can see, I have quite a lot of screenshots today. So, my lovelies, right, we've got a lot here, okay? A lot. Let's start off with this one. I couldn't imagine starting again new. I've been with my hubby 32 years and I still get butterflies on dates nights. You gotta keep it exciting. Starting again scares the poop out of me as I'm over 50 now. However, I don't think I'd cope alone, and I'd think I'd have a house full of dogs. Congrats. And I know this person quite, I'd say on a good basis. We chat quite a bit. As I say, I went a little bit, my response times went dreadful, because if you know, with work, they're banning everything left, right, centre. So where I used to catch up on comments on my lunch breaks, I can't do that now. So I'm trying to find ways to juggle it. So if you have emailed me or you've left a comment on a video and I haven't responded, please bear with me. I will get around to it, okay, my lovelies. But congrats, 32 years, absolutely love that. And I love that you still get butterflies on date nights. I think that is the most important thing. You have to keep it exciting, you have to keep the spontaneous activities, you have to keep a little bit of romance. Absolutely love that. Now, some of these that you guys have sent in are not happy endings like this one. Some are genuine life, and that is what Sit Down with Shan is. Sit Down with Shan is not about roses and everything's fine and butterflies. We have real life on here. You see it from me. You've experienced real life with me through many areas within life that you can battle. And this is what it's going to be. So some of these, you might think, I don't know if I wanted to listen to that, but you guys take the time to send it in to me and I'm going to respond to you, okay? So One of my lovelies says, count me in, please. Well, where do I start? When I was coming to my 16th birthday was when I met my ex-husband at the time. I moved in with him. Everything was good to start. And then we had my oldest son when I was 18/19. Then I had 2 other children with him, got married. And after that, he changed. My family didn't like him and they said there was something about him. And in the end, they was right up with abuse and playing nasty games with me. As we split, but we had to stay living in the same house for over a year. See, I think that is very tricky. But I know, see, growing up, a lot of my friends' parents split up. But a lot of them stayed in the same house for like, I would say a good year or 2. And it was just awkward because you'd go around there. You'd be like, oh, hi. And like, you'd be sitting having your dinner with your friend and their mum. And the dad would be in like a separate room eating dinner. And it's just, I don't know. But that happens in real life. As I say, sometimes people aren't able to move out. Sometimes people have to stay in them circumstances. There'll be like financial ties. So I can imagine that it was quite tough for you. As I say, it's just, it's something if you, for me personally, when I went through my previous breakups, I'm very much a done, dusted, everything out the house, gone. Like, I can't hold on to stuff like that. I'm very, mum says I'm very cutthroat. I'm like, boom, boom, there's your stuff, adios, goodbye. But I think that's just my coping mechanism. I can't have reminders around the house, you know. And then I met someone else and he cheated on me. I'm ever so sorry. You're such a lovely woman. And then he denied it and it put me off. And I was over 8 years single. Then a couple years down the line, I met my new fella. I know him from my school days and we've been together for over 9 years now. I love that. See, they say you have to kiss a lot of frogs until you meet your prince, eh? And you have to go through scenarios, which sometimes are quite shitty, but it's all worth it in the end. I think, personally, everything happens for a reason. You're meant to go through your tough times. You're meant to go through your heartaches, you're meant to go through your unappreciation stages, and it's all for that end result. And I'm so glad. And that is so cute that it's from your school day, because how, like, you never know, you're in high school or secondary school, whatever you'd call it, and then like however many decades down the line, it's like, oh, hi, and then you hit it off, and oh, over 9 years. I love that. Absolutely love that. One of my lovelies says, hi Shan, I've been single for years now and it's just me and my 11-year-old daughter. I keep thinking about having a boyfriend, but I'm so set in my ways that I just can't see it happening. This is another thing as well. I feel women adjust to being single a lot easier than a guy. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel a guy potentially goes off the rails, okay? And that's not saying that women can't either, but I feel guys are like, lads at football doing whatever. Whereas I think when a woman becomes single, she starts to focus on herself. She starts to try and develop herself, whether that be self-care, whether that be education, whether that be fitness. They try and look after themselves and make themselves a better person, but we do get set in our ways. Guys, I can't lie. So from my secondary school breakup, I threw myself into the gym. Then my breakup with my ex, again, I threw myself into the gym and I started traveling and going out, exploring and everything like that. I feel you have to have a good period of time to actually just find yourself. And as cliche as that sounds, you have to. I think for both of my previous breakups, I was single for about, I think the first one was about 10 months and the second was just over a year. And I think you have to have that. And I look back on my single time and I think, you know what? I was actually such anti-men. I wasn't out every weekend. I went on a dating app for, I think it was a couple of days, if that. The girl set me up and I was like, if this is what dating is, like the messages I was getting, I don't want it. I'm quite happy to write myself off. And you guys know I was like, no, writing myself off till I'm 30. And then life just throws you a curveball. And as I say, everything I feel happens for a reason. You don't know what is around the corner, and I think it genuinely will happen when you're not looking for it, probably with the people that you least expect it to. But I can completely relate with you there, where you're like, you're set in your own ways. I don't think there's anything wrong with being single, but I'm only 32, so never say never. Absolutely not. Nothing wrong with being single at all, and you're still a young spring chicken, my lovely. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. As I say, I just think be you, and it will come along when you least expect it, because you will be so in your like zone era, like this is my time, yes, 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 and someone will come along and they will adapt to your time. It's not all about when you get into a relationship, that's it, you're like conjoined. You don't have different beliefs, you don't have different opinions, you don't have different hobbies, like you're just one. No, 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 no. I think it's very important that you still have your boundaries, you still have your alone time, you still have your separate hobbies, but then also say a joint thing that you can come together to. I do believe it is a lot of work-life balance. You have your work, you have your life, you need to balance it both, and you also need to balance your life in terms of being on your own and having you time, and then also in your relationship. Is it wrong if I bring a man into our home where our daughter is? Or am I too old for dating? You're not too old for dating. You're 32, my lovelies. Absolutely not. I see, it's always difficult because I don't have children. And I hear from people who do have children, as I say, people I work with, and a few of them have gone through breakups over the past couple of years, and you hear them talking about, I've met someone, when do I introduce them to the kids? Or he's met someone, when do I introduce? It's all, I think, personal preference to the individual, the scenario, the family, the situation, everything like that. I have seen friends where they could get with another guy or another female equally. I don't think there's one gender that takes it above the rest. And they'll meet someone, after a couple of weeks they'll introduce, and I'm very vocal with my friends, you guys, you know me, I say it to the point, I'm like, don't, because then when it all goes belly up, and there's been a lot of times it's gone belly up, you then have to, it's the detachment for the kids. So I know that one of the people I work with, they have been split up, I think about 8 months, they've just finalised their divorce. And she's just introducing the children to the man now. And she said it's going fine, but she said, I feel to meet his children, because they're slightly younger, I think she said they're going to wait till like it's a year. So I think, as I say, it's age, it all depends. And as I say, I think you will know within yourself if it was right or when it was right to introduce someone to your girl. And I agree with your next statement. Men these days just seem too immature. They're out partying all the time and treat the girlfriends so badly. And that's a worry I have, because I don't want my daughter seeing that behaviour. I mean, first off, hats off, you can tell you're an incredible mum, because if that is at the forefront of your mind, you have your priorities right. There are a lot of immature guys. There are a lot of immature men. It does, as I say, I feel like single guys have more of a reputation than single women. And you don't, as you say, need anything like that. But I think you would be able to judge from the person. If you genuinely knew them, like them, you would be able to sense how they were. And I think if it comes to the point where you introduce them to your daughter and you suddenly got a bit of a that's where you could be like, right, we're going to hold off on that for the moment, because at the end of the day, she is your daughter and you have her best interests at heart. I love that one. Right, another one. Well, first off, let me say a huge congrats on your finding happiness with your man. Thank you very much. I will say I've been with my hubby for 16 years, married for 14 of those. I love that. And I will say I'm so glad we both ignored all the people that said we wouldn't last. Oh, I love that. You put their middle fingers up to them. They all said he's a mummy's boy and that I would never fit in. Well, his mum and I got on so well that I was closer to her than the other daughter-in-law, and that just peed everyone off. And we are so happy together that we just spent a week apart for the first time in 16 years, as I went away with my mum and we both hated it. I love that. Like, that's your first, oh my God, first time apart for a week in 16 years. Aww, that's cute. And you know what? Happiness, I think, does pee people off. And I love that where you say you was got on so well and then closer than the other daughter-in-law. I've been in that situation where I've gone into a family and you're like the next in line, let's just say. And you do always have that feeling of, oh, like, am I an outsider? Are they going to like me? And then it has always transpired we've got on equally as well. Or sometimes if, say, like we was closer, it'd be like, oh, just popping around or we'll go shopping. I think that is a very important thing within relationships, but it is not the be all and end all. I think as long as you and your partner are happy, as you say, happiness pees people off. Let them wallow in their, what's a PG word? Let them wallow in their, just their life. If it doesn't affect you guys and you are happy, that's all that matters. Yes, we have disagreements and we sort it in our own way. So my advice is to do what makes you happy, and don't let anyone else say anything or listen to what others say. I'm all here for that. I think, as I say, at the end of the day, guys, you have your relationship, you have family or attachments to that relationship. You don't have to take everything on. There will be times and there will be situations where you think, no, that's not a bit of me. And you and your partner will become stronger through that, because as long as the bond between you two and you're a team, everything else is irrelevant. And as I say, I feel a lot of people do like to say things and get involved, but at the end of the day, they're not the ones in the relationship. And if they were, then maybe people might have a different view. But I love that. You have put 2 fingers up to everyone else who said that it wouldn't work. And I'm here for that. Absolutely love that. Mwah! Fabulous. Right. Hi, Shannon. My first relationship was when I was 16 and I married the person and had my son with him. Wow. Oh, that's cute. But as soon as my son was born, he changed. Oh. And become a control freak and dictated when I could visit my parents and how they had to ask permission to hold their grandchild, but his parents could do anything without asking. Oh no. No, 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 no. Why is it, okay guys, because I do hear this quite often, that when relationships have a child, everything suddenly changes. Why is that? Is it probably because I don't have children, but no one should be dictating to anyone when the parents could or could not, unless there was extreme circumstances to whereby you said your parents are not having anything to do with the child, like, as I say, in an extreme circumstance, then okay, that's your duty as your child. If you don't feel safe or happy that your child's going to be in someone's company, you have every right to say, no, I don't really care if your uncle, aunt, grandparent, whatever, you're not having anything to do with my child, because that's for my mental sanity and also their protection. I'm all here for that. But not when it's one-sided, you know? I was divorced by the time I was 19 years old, and by the time I was 21, I started a new relationship, which scared me as I really felt everyone was the same and would treat me the same way. But he didn't, and after 3 years we got married. Aww, and had our daughter. My mother and father-in-law were absolutely amazing and treated me like a daughter too. I lost my mother-in-law in 2016 and we lost my father-in-law in January this year. I'm so sorry for your losses, my lovely. But to cut a long story short, me and my husband have celebrated our 35th wedding anniversary on the 29th of October. Oh, congrats, 35 years. Wow, that is a long, long time. I think for me, I have found my soulmate and the love of my life when I met him. We've worked hard as people only gave us 6 months. See, I hate when people put like, oh, it'll never work, and oh, I'll give it a year. Jog on. So what makes a good relationship to me is to work together and ignore the haters. Amen. Not sure if this is the type of content you're talking about, hun, but this is my experience in life. And sending you and Mama G lots of love. Hope you're both well. Mwah. We are good as always, my lovelies. Absolutely good. And you know what? Oh, God. These pillows are a bit more fluffier and a little less supportive, let's just say. So I almost just went belly up down there. I love that. I think soulmate is a big, big word. Like, I see on TikTok all the time, what is a soulmate? And people give their variations of what they think. And I do think a soulmate varies to every relationship, every person, and whether you think you found that in someone or whether down the line you think, actually, what was I thinking of with them? This is what a soulmate is. It's all down to personal experiences, personal preferences, and just your well-being. I think you need to find someone that you just click with, and then once you click, that's it. That's your bond, and that's it for life. I love the fact, ignore the haters and to work together. And look, all them people who only gave you 6 months just celebrating your 35th wedding anniversary. They've got a little bit of egg on their face now, haven't they? Aye, aye, aye. Right, this is a long one, but I feel that this could be relatable to quite a few of you guys. So there may be, I'm just having a quick read over there is some trigger warnings, okay? We're going to talk about abuse in this one. My lovely says, "Hi Shannon, I hope you and your loved ones are well. I'd like to submit my story of starting over for Sit Down with Shan. Hope it's okay to submit it here." Of course, my darling. "I was with my ex-husband for 8 years and we were married for 4 years. Back in February 2015, he decided that he hadn't been happy for the last 4 years, basically since we'd been married, so he asked for a divorce. I was really upset, but there wasn't anything I could do, so I moved back with my mum. In August 2015, trigger warning, self-harm. In 2015 August, I attempted to take my own life as I solely believed that no one would ever love me. But I survived. And with the support of my family and friends, I was able to completely start over, and that's what I did. I threw away everything that connected me to my ex, like the clothes, shoes, basically everything I owned. I get you there. I am, as I say, I'm very cutthroat. I'm like, bish, bash, bosh, gone, done. And then if I find something, it really annoys me down the line because I think, why did I not remember that was there? But yeah, I'm literally like, all the photos, everything gone, deleted off the phone, any photo albums gone, memories, clothes. See you later, sayonara. In 2016, I decided to look online for love as it was difficult because I ended up with someone who abused me. I was also emotionally abused by someone who claimed to love me, but they didn't, and clearly and eventually I gave up on the idea of finding true love again. However, the very day I decided to give up is the day I started talking to my current partner, who I've been with for 7 years now. I know it's a long story, and if you put it in the video, you're welcome to take out some information to give it easier and shorter to tell, but it hopes it can give someone hope and prove you can move on to a new life and better things and be happy. You can be. You can. I'm sorry for the long email, but I just wanted to put it in to help someone. Lots of love to you. Lots of love to you too. I'm so sorry that you had to go through that, and the thoughts, this is why I've set up like the email and everything, because I never want anyone to feel alone, because I've been there when you have those thoughts and you think, I remember back, I'm going to say, do you guys remember my first Vlogmas? If you've been here for a while, I struggled with lockdown. I was struggling with Nan because Christmas is always like a bittersweet time for us because my nan loved Christmas and you guys know how close I was with her. So I don't really do well at Christmas anyway because I always have that attachment. But with lockdown as well, I just felt dumb. We was having immense trouble with Footloose, if you guys remember, and the whole thing with the council and her mocking my mental health, basically. I told her I had thoughts also, basically, like, wonder what the car would look like, maybe smashed in somewhere or whatever, like bad thoughts. And how her response was, oh, we all have bad days. Funny enough, now she's on a, she still actually works for our council, but she's on a training referral. The housing ombudsman send me like updates because I'm like, there's no way that she can be interacting with people if that's the way she speaks to someone. So yeah, that was a little update. And you get to that point and you think, what is the point? And I am a very private person. You probably don't think so because I put half my life on here, but stuff like that I don't really like to talk about. I do think that having this channel has helped me open up, because I think by you guys sharing your experiences, I feel obliged to share my experiences with you. And I feel like a release, and I like these videos because I feel like we can both get stuff off of our chests. I am I don't like the fact that you was abused. I'm so sorry for that. But again, things happen, but you just think, why does this shitty stuff have to happen? But now you found someone, and the day you decided to give up was the day you found your love of your life. 7 years down the line. I love that. I'm going to have a drink, quickly change the battery, and let's get in with part 2, eh? Right, we're back. Another one. Hi Shan, hope you're all well. I'm good and dandy, my lovely. I just wish me hair was done. But apart from that, we're all good to go. Oh, the dogs in the street aren't doing well. I do apologise, my lovelies. If you guys have got dogs that you're watching this, I apologise. I get the funniest messages from when the dogs bark, or say I whistle and people are like, my dog are sitting there like, I do apologise. I got married on my 21st birthday. Big mistake. My divorce come through on my 25th birthday. Starting again with 2 kids was difficult. You have to really trust the new person to be with your children, and it's also hard to let them discipline your children because they're not their biological parent. However, I found my soulmate by blind date, and he also had 3 children. So the same went for them. 19 years later, we're still happily married and have a big and growing family. I love that. And anyone should never say never, as it will happen when you're least expecting it. And the next person along for anyone could be the person they're meant to be with. Lots of love and hugs. Mwah! I do think that is a big thing. I think nowadays as well, because discipline of children is not discipline as how I remembered it, how I was disciplined, for example. I read about things, and you read about like discipline in schools, and I think, my God, we'd never be able to get away with that. Like, our teacher would be like dragging us out of our class by the back of our blazers. And I do get what you mean to say. I'm not maternal, guys, in the instance that I have children. I don't have any children of my own, but I get from friends who have children and like my cousins and everything, you do have that barrier as to, can I do that? Can I not do that? Like, for me, I wouldn't get involved. Like, that is not, I feel, an area for me personally. I would be like, you do you. Like, unless it was something that I felt needed addressing, that's not my involvement. I feel like my discipline is to mum. I feel like she's a child half the time, and I'm like, mother, rein it in, okay? And if anyone else was to say to mum, gold, I'd be like, she's not your responsibility, thank you. She's mine, and I'm going to deal with her, okay? I love the fact 19 years later on a blind date. I love that. And as I say, you've got 2 children. He had 3. So do they call it like a blended family? Is it blended? You've got a huge, ever-growing blended family. I love that. Absolutely love that. Hi Shannon, hope you and Mummy G are well. We're all good. And I've told you some of my story before. I met my now husband at the age of 40 after being on my own for 8 years when my long-term relationship broke down, and I have 2 sons from that relationship. Me and my now husband were best friends for about 4 years before we decided to give our relationship a go. And again, I think a good basis of a relationship is having the friendship first. Because I feel by having the friendship, you learn things about each other that you probably wouldn't learn or know until down the line if you just started dating someone. So I love that. He moved in with me 6 years ago, and we're celebrating our 4th wedding anniversary on the 2nd of November. Oh, it's just gone. Hope you had a lovely wedding anniversary. He's 10 years younger than me and Sri Lankan, which has caused problems with friends and families who said he was only able to be with me to stay in this country. That is disgusting that people say that to you. And me personally, friends and families say stuff like that, the derogatory vile comments, cut off. I know it's not for everyone because Mum says I am quite cutthroat with that. If my family or my friends was ever disrespectful about my partner, point blank gone. And I said to Mum, that doesn't even exclude Mother. Mum said I would never, ever, ever. If you're with someone and you're happy, she said I will have my comment, but nothing to a point where it is vile and condescending and anything like that. And I said to her, like, obviously, with what happened, if that was her, Mother, I'd be like packing my stuff and I'd be getting out. I am very much, if someone can't respect the relationship that I'm in and you're going to be vindictive and malicious and just nasty, that's it, point blank. I've cut several family members off throughout my life. I mean, you guys know the relationship with me and Dada. We didn't speak for 5-6 years. As horrible as it sounds, if you can do that to your own family, I have no qualms doing that to friends or people who don't know me. But I do think you have to stand your ground. You're happy, and that's all that matters. Your happiness should come above everything else. And I'm glad you've cut people out of your life, because if they can't, you say on here, I've cut so many people out of my life who are going to be happy for me, and now my circle is very small. You know what, guys? A small circle, it's not a bad thing. I can count on one hand the people that I can go to when I need to, and you know what? That's all I need. I would say I have a lot of acquaintances, but like true friends to the part where you have like that soulmate bond on a friendship level, I can count on one hand, simple as. He is the most amazing man, and he looks after me so well and treats me like a queen. I love that. I have several chronic illnesses and struggle with severe anxiety, and he works so hard to provide for us. And he treats my sons better than their own father does. When we're together, all we do is laugh. It may have took me a long time, but I've definitely found my soulmate. Lots of love to you and Mummy G. Mwah, lots of love back. it doesn't matter what age you are, guys. I think that just goes to show, like, this lady says it was at the age of 40 she met her now husband after 8 years of being on her own. There is no time limit, and as I say, it will happen when you least expect it. The comments there that people think the reasoning of him to be with you is absolutely disgusting, and you know what? I see from your photos and when we talk, you are happy, you're in love, and I'm so glad that you have found your soulmate, and he should treat you like a queen. You deserve it. I love that. Right, another one. I'm 45 years old and I've just come out of a shitty 12-year relationship, which feels amazing. Woohoo! You go, girl. You've done this. Loving being single and loving living alone. The whole bed. You know what? I used to love having my whole bed to myself. I used to starfish out, spread out. Now I'm back to my The cushions at the moment are taking up this side. The thought of meeting someone else and going through it all again, it fills me with intense anxiety. And to be honest, I'd rather be alone than go through all that again. I'm with you. When you feel like, oh, that used to put me off. I would think, oh my God, like I can't go through the talking stage again. What's your favourite colour? What do you do for what? I can't. And that's why I think sometimes the friendships are the basis of a relationship, because sometimes you subconsciously know what each other's favourite foods are, what your favourite movies are, without having that initial awkwardness, because you learn it through a friendship. So if it blossoms into a dating and a relationship, you already have like the structure and everything there, and you don't have to go through that awkward stage. I love watching you and Mama G, and I'm so happy that you found someone. Thank you very much, my lovelies. And there's plenty of content coming from me and Mama G as always. Let's have a look. We've got a lot in here, guys. I hope you are getting comfy. I'm going to take a little sip of cider. That's good Cornish cider. One of my lovelies says, for myself, it would be good if I ever got into a relationship to experience it. I'm not confident outgoing person, so I don't really get to meet people. There also isn't anyone at work. Although I did like someone, and I thought this could be something, but I felt like I was just being used. The feelings weren't mutual, which happens in life, but when you're not confident, it knocks you back. I always end up saying it's because I'm not good enough for anyone. First off, you are always good enough for someone. If anything, you're more than enough for someone. That person or those people just clearly can't see the value in yourself. Knockbacks are hard. I mean, I feel that's probably why I never put myself out there for dating. Like, I didn't do the apps, as I say. I was on there for minimal time and come straight off because I was like, oh my goodness, this is dating. I don't want this. I don't want this, thank you. But I'd be like that too. Like, if I was knocked back, oh my God, I'd be devastated. Like, and it would knock you back. So I think for me, that's why I just never put myself in that position, because I was like, I didn't want not the negativity, because obviously, as you say, things happen and knockbacks happen, but I wouldn't want to go through it, because then you do end up questioning yourself, and you question your beliefs, and you question, like, am I good enough? Do I look or not? No. As long as you are happy within yourself, and if not, I think the biggest love that everyone has to have is their self-love. And trust me, you guys have been there. My self-love has been, whoo, 1 minute I'm great, then I'm not, then I'm then I'm not. It's a learning curve, and I think once you master to love yourself, like, don't get me wrong, I still have days where I'm like, don't eat that chocolate cake, look at the state of you. But the bad days are a lot less than the good days now, so that's a good thing. It's all baby steps, and as I say, my inbox is always open for you, my lovely. Okay, love this one. Well, we got together in 1982. I think we lasted this long with one, him working on HGVs, then for himself. So he would either be away or in bed. I can remember throwing my engagement ring at him more than once, because at the beginning with our son, he was rarely around. But you take the downs and ups and we're still finding our way. It's all about how you deal with the ups and downs. I'm here for that. Plus, men never grow up. When you find the right person, you find a way to work together. That's the thing. I always think it's like, me and my partner, we say we're like yin and yang. You take the good with the bad. You give that extra 20% if you need to when someone's not quite feeling it. It's all about having the support, the balance and the structure for both of you guys. And as you say, finding a way to make it work together. Having things to do together as a family, our time together, then making sure you have your own time apart. He has his bike and I go out with my sister or friends for a pub lunch. Yes, yes, you do you. Learn that very early on, that asking him or telling him didn't work. So when we would be chatting, I would slip whatever it was into the chat. Then a few days later, it would say as if it was his idea. They always do that, don't they? It's bloody hard work at times, but you know when things happen in life, you're there for each other. So don't get me wrong, we still have arguments. No marriage or relationship is perfect. And to be honest, it's really finding out what works and hope it makes sense full of cold. Love you lots. Oh, I hope you're feeling better now. It does make perfect sense. I was the one that I couldn't get my words out. I hope you're doing well. Lots of love, as always. I love that. I do think, as you say, and I think you've summarised it perfectly, you have your time together, but then you also have your time apart, i.e. he has his motorbike, which my partner's a biker too, so he goes off and does his thing. And then I have my filming, or me and mum go out, or I just edit or do a bit of shopping. You have to have your time apart, and I think you then appreciate your time apart, which then makes you appreciate your time together even more. It's a big swings and roundabouts, guys. I love the fact that you can remember throwing your engagement ring at him. Mama G done that. Mama G threw her engagement ring at Dada and then pushed him off over a wall. Yeah, that's a fun story. Hey beautiful, as you know, I started over again with a bloke who was married, and yes, it was hard at the start, and we got it. Oh, it'll never work. She'll leave him. La 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 la. 33 years now, and we're still going strong. Sending lots of love to you all. Mwah. You know what? Sometimes things happen, guys, in life, and it's not the best starting situation. But stories like that, it just goes to show if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. This is what I mean. I think everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. One of my lovelies says, hi, hope you're both okay. My last relationship was for 27 years and it ended very badly. And I was very close to ending my life as I couldn't see a future and didn't want to be on my own. 8 years on, I still haven't tried again, as personally, I don't want to start again. You know what? I've been there. You just think, nah, write myself off. Don't want to do it. And that is completely fine. As I say, I think if the world didn't work in the way it did and I was to still to be single now, I'm happy with my own company. I think that stems from being an only child, but hey ho. They say love is blind, and in my case I was blind and I didn't see the end coming. It hit me very hard, and I know everyone says don't tar every man with the same brush, because there is a good man out there, but because of how mine ended and how blind I was, I will never fully trust a man. And it's really sad because now I will be on my own forever. You're not on your own. You've got me and Mama G. You've got all the family here. My emails, as I say, we're always open. And I absolutely love our chats because this lady has doggies. And we all know I'm a doggy lover. And I absolutely love seeing her little dogs. Well, they're not little. They're huge dogs. German Shepherds. I was brought up with them. Absolutely love them. However, I have great family and friends and support. And most importantly to me, my dog. He is my rock and my soulmate and my everything. I don't need a man in my life. I started again after 27 years and I have the life now that I didn't before. Your doggies are fabulous. And you know what? If I had them in my life, a man would have to be pretty special to come close, because they are divine doggies. And even just looking at your picture now, I'm like, oh, doggies. Now, these are the ones that come through on Instagram. So as I say, the long ones, guys, if you feel like you want to email me them, whatever way, or if you want to DM me on Instagram, whatever works best for you. 13 years I was with someone and had to start over again. We've been together 8 years now and it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. Love that for you. Absolutely love that. Met up with my brother after 12 years. Oh no, hold on. Oh, okay. So this is about starting again, but more like a, I was going to say relationship, a family restarting. I met up with my brother after 12 years due to my dad passing away and family arguments. Hopefully a fresh start, question mark. You know what? Again, family disputes, disagreements. Oh my God. Again, been there, done that. Well, not me personally, I was a child, but Dada, family rift, and he didn't speak to one of his brothers for over 10 years. It is hard, I think, at the beginning, but it happens. It works. I mean, Dada was one of 5. However, they're not really sociable. Him and his brothers, they're all boys. Him and his brothers aren't sociable. And it makes me laugh because my nan always says they're like sworn enemies. They could walk past each other in the street and just be like, But like, obviously we're down here and Dada's family is obviously up in Newcastle. But yeah, it's I definitely think it could be done. And I hope everything went well with meeting up with your brother. And I feel the first few times there'll be a lot of emotions. There might be some heated exchange words. But when you get your differences aside, it's then all about that time. I feel you flick back to your childhood and you remember the closeness that you had and you want to see how each other are doing in life. And yes, I hope everything has gone well for you, my lovely. Fingers crossed. I was stuck in a toxic cycle until I fell in love with my best friend. I love that. Defo believe love comes when you need it, not when you look for it. And as I say, I'm all here for you. It will come when you least expect it. And when you least expect it, it will hit you like a boulder. It will be like a big double-decker bus being like, Hi, I'm here. Hi. Yeah. Let's just throw a spanner in the works and mess everything up. But in the end of it, you're going to be happy. Ooh. Try not to get gassy, guys. That cider. It's a little bit gassy indeed. Everything comes when you stop actively looking. And I've been with mine for 10 years now. Know when the things aren't working out and stay strong and leave when you're not happy. Don't pick someone on looks alone because people age and appearances change. Core values matter. You both need your own hobbies and time apart. And don't stay with someone if they don't treat you right for 24/7. Anger issues are too common. And if someone ever hit you once, they are likely to do it again, even if it was really nice. Even if they are really nice. My lovely there, that was all for one person. I'm probably a bit of a hypocrite in this because on this one where you say, know when the things aren't working out, stay strong and leave when you're not happy. Both of my previous relationships, I gave them 2 years extra. Because you do have that thing, maybe they'll change. Maybe it'll work this time, maybe. And then before you know it, you're just in that constant cycle. And then you literally will wake up one day and you're like, no, I deserve better than this. And that will be when you get up and walk away. But I wasn't strong enough. As soon as I noticed them cracks, I worked and worked. And as I say, 4 years of my life, over 2 different relationships that I stayed longer than I feel I should have done. And now I look back and I think, why? But when you're in it, you try and try. And I just think, there's only so much you can try on there. I love the fact don't pick someone on looks alone. I think, obviously, looks and attraction is important. But it is like, Mum always says, it's what's inside. Like, if they make you laugh, do you feel safe with them? Do you feel comfortable? All of that, again, is a very, very big factor, I think, in the way that relationships grow and develop. And as I say, looks are not everything. You obviously have to have that initial attraction. Like, I've got them bloody little fly in here again. It's annoying me now. You have to have that initial attraction. You have to have that, look, I'm like, that's my man, that's my woman. Like, yes. But then you also have to be, if you're in bed with tissue stuck up your nose because you're ill and run under the weather and you still look at them and you think that's my person. Because they still have their personality or they're still them, you know? If someone hits you, they're likely to do it again if they're really nice. I feel this is... Each person is different. And I think I'm not here to say anything because everyone's experiences in life are different. But you'll know if it will happen again, and you'll know if it does. You make that decision whether you leave or whether you stay or do you try and help them. But, yeah. Another one I love says, go with the flow and enjoy your amazing and beautiful life. Thank you. One of my other lovelies says, I'm starting to find new friendship as my ex-friend. This little fly, I think you're coming because my cider's sweet, ain't ya? It's not for you, darling, because I will down that if I have to. Now it's just vanished. I do apologise. I'm starting to find a new friendship as my ex-friend of mine betrayed me a lot and was nasty. But I do have a best friend in Mercia and a work colleague that I can talk to. So it's a hard one. I think friendships starting over again can be just as hard as relationships. Because it depends how far back the friendship goes to the level of the friendship. I mean, you guys know me and Brogan, we've been speaking now for about, since lockdown. What's that, 2-3 years? We've never met. We are meeting next year, guys. Next year is going to be very, very fun. We've got a lot of stuff planned. We have a wedding. She's getting married. I'm like, I can't. I'm going to be an emotional mess. We have concerts. Like, there's going to be London trips. There's going to be Edinburgh vlogs. Like, this is it. And I've known that girl probably 2-3 years. But when I tell you she's like my soul sister, anything, people I've known like decades, I'd be like, okay, there's a couple that I'd be like, But say acquaintances that you know from school or whatever, if anything happened, you'd be like, oh, okay. Anything happens to her, I'm like, get me on that plane to Edinburgh. I'm getting in my bug, I'm filling it up and I'm driving. There is our bond. We always say, there is a reason we live the opposite ends of the UK. Because our bond, I don't think the world could contain us if we was both together. I tell you now, guys, if Brogan had been down here, I'd probably say for the past, say when I was on holiday, if Brogan was down here, oh my goodness, it would have been havoc. And you know what? Me and my girl would have been, we would have been, how can I, if she watches this, she'll be screaming at the TV and she'll be like, I know what we'd be doing. We would be putting the world to rights, let me tell you that. And yeah, I always say, I think there's a reason we're at the opposite ends, because I don't think that somewhere could contain us both together. But yeah, as I say, it doesn't matter how long you've known someone for a friendship, because I think it's the level of the friendship. If anything was to happen to her, or she called me and was like, Shan, I need you, I don't care, I'm gone. And likewise, I know if I was to call her and I needed her, she'd be down here. That is when you know you have like your ride or die. And yeah, absolutely love her for that. I'm going to have a little bit more drink and we'll come back, because we actually still do. We have quite a few more, guys. So please sit tight and let's get through a bit more sit down with Shan, eh? Right, we're back. We are back. So, where was we? Here we go. I started again when I left my then husband when our son was 10 months. Now with the current hubby of 16 years. I love that. Congrats. And good for you for getting up. This is what I mean. I admire, pardon me, men and women who, when they know, that's it, I'm gone. I chickened out. I stayed another 2 years each time. And I thought, I wish I'd have had the cojones to be like, no. I always worry I will be treated badly because of what it's always happened in my past relationships. Firstly, I don't like that you've been treated badly, but that mindset is hard to crack. For me, my mindset was never going to find someone mature who's not a gamer. I'm never going to find someone who actually wants to spend time or do something apart from outside of like the four walls of a bedroom. I'm not going to find anyone who can kind of match what I bring to the table or like be on that level with me. Someone that I can speak to and have a proper conversation without it detouring or going like childish or getting ignored. And it will happen, my lovely. Don't write yourself off. And as I say, I know people say don't tarnish it. The relationship's the same thing, but it's hard when you have guards up. I get that. But when you meet that person, they will just come down naturally. And as I say, you'll wonder why you was ever worried. It will always happen when you least expect it. Started again 3 years ago and married him in 2. Best thing I ever did. Oh no, started again 3 years ago and I'm marrying him in 2. The best thing I ever did. Sorry. This lady, oh my God, when I tell you, we're speaking via email and I'm getting like wedding updates. I'm so jealous. I'm like living my wedding life through her. I'm just like, oh my God. There's a lot of weddings going on, guys. And I'm just like, oh, I feel like I'm spiritually with you all. I'm like, yes, you go. Don't let idiots tell you how to make you happy ever. Amen. No one's telling me how to be happy, and no one will be taking my happiness from me to benefit themselves. Let me just tell you that. Let's have a look. Oh, what have I done here? Nope. Is that the last of it, guys? Let me just have a look, because I've got me conspiracies with Shan on here as well. Yes, that's the one we've ended on. Ended on a wedding, but oh, I think it goes to show, guys, the generation and mentality. So say, for example, from my grandparents' generation, they would say you didn't have social media, and the only thing that you could do back in the day, as I say, there's a lot of stuff you can do now, but back in the day, people broke up because either they fell out of love or cheating. Nowadays, there's a lot more complex things and things that can happen from there, but My nan always used to say, like, people would say about her and my granddad, and she'd say, but we worked at it. So my nan and granddad, like Dada's parents, granddad used to work abroad a lot. That was where the money was back in the day, and that was where, oh, talking about nan, she just messaged me. Back then, granddad worked abroad, Saudi Arabia, everywhere like that. And for all them months that he was away, when they'd come home, like Dada and his brothers would say, they was just together. It was like they'd never been apart. My nan and granddad down here, so mum's mum and dad, they split up. My nan left my biological granddad, like mum's dad, and she went off with my granddad, the only granddad that I knew from down here. They married, and they had a lot of people against them. People saying it wouldn't work. What on earth was they doing? And they outlasted everyone. And I think it just goes to show, long gone I think are the mentalities of you have to stay together regardless. I think if you can genuinely say, I tried and I give it my all and it still wasn't there, or we still couldn't get to an agreement, I think for both of us it's better if one of us walks away. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think you have one life, guys, and you have to be happy. I would not, if I was to have a child, for example, and my child said to me when they was older, I'm just going to stay here because it's easier for everyone else, I would say, I don't give a hoot who it's easier for. If you're not happy, you think of yourself. I always used to think, so I was in a relationship from 14 to 21. And then 22 to 26 and a half, 27. I look back on them sometimes. In my single phases, I'd look back and I think, where could I be? My first relationship, I think, God, I'd have been like married, maybe a kid, house, sorted. My second relationship, I don't know where I would have been with that now. I don't think we would have had a home together. Potentially a child, I'm not entirely sure. But I think if I'd have stayed in those relationships, I would have stayed for other people, not for myself. And that's all well and good. But when those people are no longer here and you're sat in a room with someone who you can't hold a conversation with, that's no. Because I would look back and think, my life, like, what have I done? And I think it's selfish of people to expect people to stay in relationships and situations when they're not happy. Because you have one life. Do you want to look back when you're 70, 80 and think, I've had an alright life, but I wish I'd have done that, or I wish I'd have maybe tried starting over, or tried finding myself. And I think like Mum and Dada, they've been split up now, and say 14 years. Mum has never brought a guy home. Dada's never brought a woman home. They're happier on their own. But together, they wasn't happy. And as I say, me and Dada was arguing. I was getting to that age. And it was just decided that they was going to separate. But they don't look back on it. If anything, it's probably one of the best things that they ever done. They get on better now than ever. They're always still there. Mum does his shopping and bills. You know that. It's like, she's like his little PA. But she wouldn't have expected him to stay. And she wasn't going to stay if they was unhappy. And I wouldn't expect that. I think it is obviously very difficult when you have children. And Mum says, like, looking back now, she says, we did try for a good few years before it all went belly up because we thought of you. But it sounds strange. I was probably an outsider at school because my parents were together. A lot of my friends' parents split up when we was in primary school. And to go into secondary school and you still have your parents together, that was kind of like a rare thing. But now I don't think it's not looked upon as like, oh, your parents ain't together, because there's so many like blended families and step parents and everything like that. And I just think at the end of the day, if it makes you happier, your loved ones around you, children, families, everything like that, they will see that you're happier. Sorry guys, it cut off me. I was clearly rabbiting too much. But what I was saying is I was reading over the comments on my Hello November intro. And I actually read over them, and I read some to my partner. And it actually made me smile. It also, I can see where you guys have joined me from, if you've been with me for a while, how long, etc. The general thing was a lot of you guys could see a change, like a happiness change in me. So if you haven't seen the video, I was doing my Hello November as always. Then I turned and his head was put around the corner. He was watching it. I had a little audience. And then we started speaking about like camper van life, and we had like a little interaction and that. You would have also maybe now heard him if you'd have seen the PR vlog. He come with me to my first PR event. I wasn't going to go. He was like, come on, we're going, push me out my zone. And yeah, you hear him and I think you see the back of him. You don't see the front of him, but you see the back of him. And a lot of you guys were saying how you saw the change in me, how I seemed happier. And then I see the comments that they do give me a giggle. The ones of you guys that have obviously known me from my previous relationship, and you say like, we never saw you smile like this, or we never heard you laugh like this. And it's nice to see that other people can see you're happy. And he was reading them too, and he was, I wouldn't say choked, but he did get a bit, I'm happy that people can see you're happy. He's like, and I've done that. And I'm like, you have. And I think that's the most important thing. And I think if people can't see the happiness for two people who are in love, they don't deserve the time. They don't deserve the time or efforts to be with you or in your presence or company, to be honest. And yeah, I'm taking it with a pinch of salt. And as I say, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but there's certain things that I don't stand for, and we've ascertained them. Is that thing ascertained? I don't know if that's the right word. We've concluded them together of what we don't tolerate from other people. But yeah, I've been rabbiting for way too long. But guys, you've sent me in some corkers. You have sent me in some absolute corkers. And you know what? Thank you so, so much. As I say, everyone's involvement, whether it be Instagram, email, thank you so much. Because otherwise it'd just be me sitting here waffling away. I am a little bit gassy of that cider again. If you want to get involved in any more videos, guys, as I say, drop me an email and I will keep you on file. If not, head over to the new Instagram. As I say, if you have me on my lifestyle or the food, it's just AllThingsShannonLeighxx now. That is the new Instagram that will have everything on there. If you go on any of my previous Instagram accounts, it will be in the top bio. So you just click, follow along. Your girl would love to have you over there, okay? But guys, if you did enjoy the video, you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe down below. And as I say, leave us a comment. What do you think about starting over? Have you had to do it, or what do you think about any of the stories that we have spoken about today? But take care, stay safe as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.